Hello and welcome to Dhaka Stream. Today we are honored to have a very special guest. She is the first Bangladeshi American Muslim woman elected in New York City Council from Brooklyn's 39th district. And today we'll hear from her about her journey in politics, her Bangladeshi roots, her initiatives, her advocacy, and what is her message for the future leaders. Let's dive in. Now, welcome to Dhaka Stream. Can you tell me about your journey so far and your roots and connections with Bangladeshi, and what have you achieved in New York City politics so far?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, in the neighborhood that I now represent, Kensington. And it's a huge Bangladeshi enclave, working class people who I knew as construction workers, taxi drivers, grocery owners, grocery workers. And that showed me from just growing up the challenges that our community face across the board, in housing, in language access, and transportation. And so those issues were what I saw first. And then secondarily, when I realized that there aren't any Bangladeshis, or at least I didn't know any Bangladeshis who were pursuing life and becoming an advocate for some issue, or that they were attending protests to lift up an issue. So I recognized that there was a need. There was a need for representation, and I began work as a health activist. I had lupus at 17, which really forced my journey into politics. And after doing health advocacy work and transportation advocacy work, I became a tenant organizer. The housing crisis, affordability crisis, is vast and terrible here. And I joined my predecessor's office, former councilmember Brad Langer. He just ran for mayor in this third term. And I was able to really lift up the Bangladeshi community and their needs at a time when it was Trump's first term. And then I decided to run.
Councilmember Shahana, you have a very diverse and I would say vibrant community here. So how do you ensure that their voices is heard and their needs are discussed in City Hall?
Absolutely. So my office has been very open. And since the time I was working in my predecessor's office, we've been slowly building out the capacity to serve our community, meaning the Bangladeshi Muslim working class workers who often don't know where to seek support or help. And in the early days when I was just a staffer, it was really hard to build trust with the community because they didn't think that government would help them. And many communities think that because government has not helped us. But seeing me slowly over the course of many years, and particularly through our legal services clinic, I was able to shepherd in community members across all age who wanted to be a part of both my journey and also be a part of the community that so many others are experiencing legal services issues. And now I have a full-time staffer in our Bangladeshi clinic We have a satellite office in Kensington, and we've been offering government services, tenant protections, you name it. We assess and determine what can I do to support you, and what can I do to ensure that you are respected and valued.
As a progressive leader, I think this journey was not very easy. So what kind of challenges you faced while pursuing, advocating for equity-based policies, and particularly from the broader political landscape in New York City and nationally?
So first, I'll just start with the Bangladeshi community. I grew up in a very tight knit, so it was a close community. At the same time, it was also gender segregated. So I often share the story of when I was in the 8th grade, and my peers, boy peers who were in the 8th grade, had formed a cricket team. And fast forward to when I started working with council member Brad Bander, this group came to discuss how they can receive some funds from the government. And why I share this is because they were able to get resources and people believed in them. And now what was just play on the sidewalk became a leak. And then for the girls, we're sort of all over the place. We're told to go home, So there was sensing just that feeling, I don't have to experience it, but it's there. It's there for us. And, as a first generation American, the battle between our home culture and our American values is constantly battling one another. But my parents were so supportive when I told them I was going to run. There was another Bangladeshi candidate, and when I had first shared that with my mother, she immediately was like, "Tumi keno darecho tahole? Uni jitbe." So that was like the immediate. That is a very natural way of how we treat women. So I was fortunate that I had made my decision that whether or not my mom, my dad understand or support me in material ways, I'm going to do this. In the broader political landscape, I was not a part of the establishment politics, local democratic clubs that were known to be kingmakers. So I presented a candidate that was a movement builder, a coalition builder.
How do you engage with diaspora, particularly the young population, young men and women in like South Asian communities, Bangladeshi Americans, and other communities in your area? What is your secret?
It is absolutely an honor to see how young South Asians, Muslims, young Bangladeshis are really taking charge of our city. And some of that has to do with my coming up. Some of that has to do with just recognizing that that this is their city. They have the ability to pursue what they want. For my office, I had been very vigilant about hiring young people who have just recently graduated college to come through to the political pipeline. And that's important because there aren't a lot of Bangladeshis as staffers to elected officials. And so I wanted to make sure that I was hiring. We also have a great program, a fellowship program that is for high school, late high school, early college students. And through that program, they're able to see all sides of how city council works and decide whether they want to do policy work or do they want to do communications work or do they not enjoy this at all. So there have been many ways in which reaching out to young people has been important. And I will say that I've also been authentic. I've tried to be as authentic as I can because I don't want young people to think like, oh, do I have to be exactly like that? Or can I be vulnerable? Can I be myself? And, we're not all the same. We're not a monolith. So being myself wherever I go, I speak. When I'm in Bangladeshi spaces, I encourage the parents to especially encourage their daughters, no matter what it is they want to pursue. And this is going to be a part of my political life, I would say, forever. Young people drive so much of the wins we have for a better protected city.
You are kind of youth icon now. I mean, many people you can see in social media, they want to be like you. They want to like now that take the leadership position. They want to be community leaders. So what will be your advice to men and women, young men and women who are interested in politics and want to engage and do something for their communities? What would be your advice for them as new leader?
Absolutely. I would say it's really important to know yourself and not be pulled by what looks cool. This area looks very cool, right? And now Zoran Mamdani won, and now people are going to be like, I won around, which is exciting, but it's because it looks cool right now. So first, really knowing like what do you stand for, what are your principles, and what are your where will you not make compromise, and then an issue area that has either affected you and your family or one that you deeply care about because it's destroying the city. And then getting involved, whether that's an association, community board, all other spaces that you can get into or create your own space. So I really encourage that because this work is hard, being a strong legislator in the sea of many terrible politicians. To be a strong, efficient politician, we need the young people who are strong writers, leaders, who deeply understand their community, who know how to speak out when they see injustice, and who are not just seeing this as just something along their career.
So for the rest of your time and for future, what is your priority now for your communities and for the city and all?
So I just won a very tough primary election. And right now, we are just in transition period because over the last 8 to 10 months, we were really working on the campaign and trying to get as many Bangladeshi voters in our community and, of course, in the larger community of my district to come out and vote, not just for me, but for Zoran Mamdani and also my mentor, Brad Lander. For the remaining of my term, we are just incredibly moved by how immigrants are being treated in our city. A couple of days ago, the Department of Justice filed a claim to undo sanctuary policies, and our mayor has not yet taken a position. He has said that he's going to look into it. I would say that a strong leader would immediately push back and show New Yorkers, show your constituents that you are prepared for this. So immigration is a really big area that will continue to be a priority. I've passed several legislation to protect immigrants in this moment, especially so that they don't experience immigration fraud in the services that some of them are receiving. And then strengthening our municipal ID. Many people can't get the broader state IDs. Our city has a city ID that gets you a lot of accommodations. And so ensuring that there are appointments that more people know that you can have an ID and you can take that ID to wherever you need is very, very important.
During the last Democratic primary election, we see that many political observers were in shock about the Zoran Montani's win. How do you view his win? And what message you think that resonated very well from his campaign to when he reached out the pockets?
Zoran's campaign was a brilliant demonstration of what it looks like to go to where people are. And that's exactly what he did and his team did. He was seen all across New York City with his creative videos that helped expand his profile, and he was bringing people in who recognize that yes, we are living in a housing affordability crisis. We can't afford transportation. In a city like New York City, where the city runs on trains and buses, why are there people who can't because they don't have change or money? So free buses, affordability, and free public or government-run groceries to ensure that our communities are fed. So he focused on populist issues that resonated with every New Yorker. I mean, if you look at the map where he had votes, you'll see that in every election district he had received votes, even in parts where we consider more conservative or Republican.
So I noticed he thanked aunties in his speech. Why? Why didn't he thank Bangladeshi aunties?
So Bangladeshi aunties are on the front line, especially in Kensington, where my mother and then members of Drum Daisies Rising Up and Moving, there's an organization, they're women members. All of these aunties were a core part of both of our wins. And through door knocking, through phone banking, through persuasion, my mom is one of the best persuasion queen I've ever met. Because many people are also like, why do I have to vote in our community? So she was able to bring out more people, and knowing that aunties respect us. Aunties are looking after us. Our aunties want us to win and succeed.
So do you have any message for our viewers in Dhaka stream?
এটা পাহাড় বলতে পারে। আমি এখানে বড় হইছি এবং আমার বাংলা আমার সারা জীবন ভাঙা ছিল। আর যখন ছোট ছিলাম তখন আর দেশে যাইতাম, তখন আমাদের কাজিনের বলতো তোমরা ঠিক বাংলা বলতে পারবে না। আর খুব খারাপ লাগতো যে আমি আবার ফিরে যাব আমেরিকায়, আর আবারও আমার বাংলা ভেঙে যাবে। তো এখন অ্যাডাল্ট হিসাবে আমি কয়েক বছর আগে দেশে গিয়েছিলাম 6 মাসের জন্য। বাংলা পড়তে শিখতে এবং আরেকটু ফ্লুয়েন্ট করার জন্য। বাট অফ কোর্স আসার পর আবারও যেহেতু আমাদের পুরা লাইফ সেক্টর জব সবকিছুই ইংলিশে, আবারও এটা একটু ভাঙা ভাঙা। সো আমি আমার ইয়াং অ্যাক্টিভিস্টদেরকে বলি যে তোমরা যেরকম ভাবে বাংলা বলতে হবে এবং আমাদের বাংলাটা হ্যাঁ ভিন্ন হবে, কারণ আমরা ডায়াসপোরা হেবে এবং কেউ বলতে পারবে না যে তুমি ঠিক বলতেছো না, এটা ঠিক না। আমি মনে করি যে আমাদের বাংলা অনেক সুন্দর এবং আমাদের বাংলার জন্য আমাদের দেশ। আর যদি বাংলায় কথা না বলতে পারি দেন বাংলা থাকবে না আমাদের ডায়াসপোরাতে। আর এটা এটা আমার জন্য মানে খুবই একটা ডেঞ্জারাস ডেঞ্জারাস ফিউচার, কারণ সবাই সবাই চায় যে তারা যেন এই কমিউনিটিতে ফিট হয়। সো অনেক বাবা মা মনে করে যে নাম বাংলা শিখাবো না, কিন্তু আমি দেখতেছি এখন যে অনেকেই যারা মানে তাদের কালচারটা বুঝতেছে, যারা বুঝতেছে যে বাংলা ভাষা নিয়ে আন্দোলন হয়েছে, তারা কিন্তু বাংলায় কথা বলে। এবং সো যখনই আমি শুনি যে যখনই আমি বাংলা শুনি আর তারা নিজে থেকে বলে যে ও আই ডোন্ট স্পিক দ্যাট ওয়েল, আর তখন আমি বলি ডোন্ট ওয়ারি, তুমি যেভাবে বলতেছো বলতে থাকো, এটা আমাদের জন্য ভালো।